You know what this means, don't you?
Yep, it's episode 1 of Carlee Reviews. That's my dog. He'll probably be here for a while, so let's just get talking. So the host is about these alien creatures called souls who invade the bodies of humans and take over. The human is basically erased, and the only thing that remains is their memories. The world is supposed to be essentially perfect because the souls don't fight or steal, and they're non-violent. The main character of the story, the narrator, her name is Wanderer. She's a soul who's lived on many different planets that these souls have taken control of. Upon coming to Earth, she is put in the host body of a girl named Melanie Strider. What Wanderer doesn't expect is the fact that Melanie doesn't really want to give up her body, and although she's no longer in control, she remains very present in Wanderer's mind. Over time, the two become unlikely friends. Melanie and Wanderer both start to love the people of Melanie's past, and the girls, or the girl, because it's one body, set off on a dangerous mission to find these people of Melanie's past, whilst being hunted by the Seeker, a soul who is tasked with hunting down the remaining wild humans and turning them into nothing, basically. It's a story about love, but it's also a story about what it means to be human, and I strongly recommend it to everyone. If you haven't read this book yet, though, I suggest you just X out of this video because I'm about to spoil all of it. So I don't know if this was the case for any of you, but I bought this book about 4 years ago when it came out, because, hello, it's Stephenie Meyer, and Twilight was all the rage. But then I started to hear things about, it starts off slow, it's not the same as Twilight. Definitely not the same as Twilight. I knew that I liked Twilight and I liked Stephenie Meyer, but I shelved it. I ignored it, I let it sit over there for the longest time, and I never read it. Until the movie trailer came out. Not the teaser with the cheesy faces and the different colored crazy eyes. No, I'm talking about the real trailer that was released last month. I watched it, and then I watched it, and then I watched it. I watched it probably 90 times before I was like, okay, I have to read this book. The music in that trailer is epic, and it's Max Irons, who I love, and Saoirse Ronan, who's a crazy good actress, and I was hooked. So then I started. I did learn one thing. People were right. This book has a really, really slow start. I'm interested and I want to know more, but at the same time, half of the book seems to consist of, well, you see, then I was on the planet of the mists, and then the seaweeds, and the singing creatures, and the bears, and it just sounds really stupid, and everyone has dumb names, like Faces Sunward, and just really weird, stupid stuff, and I'm like, this is such a weird sci-fi book, why am I reading it? Then I remembered the trailer, how epic it looked, why am I doing this? And I kept going. Slowly, I mean, I literally read a whole other book in the time it took me to get to page 100 of this story. But once I got to page 100, things picked up, and I was very happy that I decided to stick through and get to the goods. Speaking of the goods, let's talk about them. I want to start by talking about Ian. How do I even begin to talk about Ian? He definitely snuck up on me as a favorite character. I didn't really notice him at first, and he tried to kill Wanda, which made me a little hesitant towards him, but then he ended up being super sweet. I'd seen the movie poster, and I'm like, why is Ian on the movie poster? What does he even have to do? This is a story about Melanie, Wanda, and Jared. But Ian really came in there, like he was a hardcore main character who had a lot to do with the story. And okay, I'm not gonna lie, he invoked the feels. So many feels. Is the ship name Wanda, I think? Well, I am Wanda all the way, because Ian likes Wanda for who she is, and he's always been there for her, and he puts her safety first over his own brother. And when he beat her in soccer just because he liked her so much, oh, Ian. I'm even excusing the fact that he tried to kill Wanda because it's going to make a great story to tell their weird little host human babies one day. Soul human babies. Can they? No, their babies would just be human. Oh, Wanda babies. I felt really bad for Ian, though, for a while there because, I mean, he was clearly interested in Wanda, and Wanda, because she listens to Melanie all the flipping time, was like, Jared. Oh, Jared. You mean the Jared who punched you in the face? The Jared who made you sleep in a cramped hole? The Jared who's only caring about Melanie and doesn't give a damn about you. Yeah, be in love with Jared. Ignore Ian. And when he tried to kiss her and Melanie was resisting, and I'm like, shut up, Melanie. Let Wanda have her moment. Because it's not all about Melanie. I think a lot of people like her more because Wanda is kind of weird, kind of a martyr, which I'm gonna get to later. But I definitely preferred Wanda to Melanie, so I wanted Wanda to be happy a little more than I wanted Melanie to be happy, which is why, oh, Wanda. Okay, I'm gonna keep doing this stuff, and you're just gonna have to accept it. Back to the point. Hey, I think I'm ADD. Oh my God, I'm way off topic. Ian is great. He takes his own feelings for Wanda over his feelings for his brother, and he's just nice to everyone, especially giving up his room. Hello. Jared only let Wanda sleep in the room because he was jealous and wanted to keep his Melanie away from Ian. Rude. The way that Ian's like, but I love you, doesn't that matter? And then Wanda was like, I love you too. And I was like, finally. But of course, at that point, I was really, really mad at Wanda because she was being very Bella Swanish in her martyry behavior of, I need to sacrifice myself so mostly everyone will be happy. That's the one time in the book where I really hated Wanda. But, I mean, everything worked out. And did it ever work out? It worked out just how I wanted it to, with Wanda getting a new body, so Melanie could be with Jared, but Wanda could still be with Ian. And I really, really adored the part where they were like, hey, Wanda, how old is this body? Wanda knew that she was only 16 going on 17, but she told them all she was about to be 18 because she wanted to get down and dirty with Ian. Who wouldn't? Have you seen Jake Abel? Swoon. Other characters that I totally loved are Jamie and Jeb. Jeb, because he's hilarious, carries a gun, makes the rules, and sticks to them, and he doesn't take any shit from anybody, and he makes my life. Jamie, because he's the sweetest little angel to ever walk the face of the earth. He loves Wanda. He loves Melanie. He loves basically everyone. He's always there. He's always caring for her. And he's adorable. Did I say adorable? He's kind of adorable. And I hope he's really portrayed well in the movie. Because if Jamie isn't the sweetest little thing, who's actually not a little thing because he's kind of old, is he like 14, 15? They never really say. Well, if they don't make him perfectly Jamie-like, then I'm going to be upset because he's so sweet. And everything he does is sweet. People at this point watching this may be wondering why I hate Jared. Okay, I don't hate Jared. Why I kind of really dislike Jared? I just don't see it. I see why Melanie loves him, but I don't see why Wanda holds on to her feelings for him for so long when he's barely ever nice to her. And when he is nice to her, it's only because he knows that Melanie is inside. He has a few moments that I like at the end when he kind of holds the knife to Doc and is like, okay, we're not gonna kill Wanda, because I didn't want Wanda to die. And I liked when he was being all possessive over Melanie, and he was like, that body and the girl locked inside of it is mine. And Ian's kind of just like, Jared grew on me a little bit. I just kind of wanted him to leave so Wanda could take its course. I'm really, really, really happy that at the end everyone was good and everyone got the person that they loved and the person that they deserved, because I just wanted everyone to be happy. And it's Stephenie Meyer. Did you really think that everyone wasn't going to be happy? Stephenie Meyer did surprise me in this book, though. I mean, she killed 2 characters that weren't evil. When has Stephenie Meyer ever killed a lovable character? I mean, Stephenie Meyer doesn't have the balls to kill people. Or so I thought. Then she killed Walter, and I was kind of expecting it because he was sick. But then she killed Wes, and I was upset. Oh my gosh. I was like, you can't kill Wes. He just got Lily. Whoa, whoa. But I get super invested in subplots and minor characters, and that really, really devastated me because Wes was my favorite minor character. Does it piss anyone else off that the whole reason Melanie went off and left the boys is to go find Sharon? And then Sharon turns out to be a total bitch who, let's face it, was not worth saving. Sharon never does anything good in the book. She's so rude to Wanda. I kind of hate Sharon, and I'm really, really annoyed that she just didn't get turned into a soul like 10 years ago, so Melanie would have never even had to go through that. But then again, I guess if Melanie hadn't went through it, then Wanda would never meet Ian, and then where would my heart be? I already mentioned the one about Jared's line, the body and the person locked inside it belong to me. Some of my other favorite lines in the book were, wait, let me guess. I bet he said the room was big enough for 3. Am I right? Oh, Ian. And then a line a little bit later. Hey, is there anything you want, Ian? And then Ian's like, I want you to tell Jared that he's shameless. Anyone who tries to say that this book is like Twilight deserves to be slapped. In what way does it resemble Twilight? There's a love triangle? No, there isn't. There is a love hexagon. Jared loves Melanie, Melanie loves Jared, but Wanda loves Jared, but Wanda also loves Ian, who loves Wanda, who's inside of Melanie. So I'm pretty sure nothing like that happened in Twilight. Also, Twilight at its base is a love story. The Host is a thought-provoking psychological story about what it means to be human. Is the human Wanda, who isn't technically a human but the most humane of all of them? Or is a human Kyle, who, let's face it, was kind of a jackass for 90% of the book? Although I know you loved him, because you're fangirls, and fangirls always love those characters. Like Kato. Yeah, you love Kato. Don't deny it. This book was kind of heartbreaking. It made me cry, and although I get kind of overdramatically emotional while reading books and I go like this, I never actually really cry. And there were so many parts of this book where I just needed to like purge this emotion. It was horrible. One final thing I want to talk about is how exactly this is supposed to translate onto the screen. Yeah, the trailer looked really good and all, but a lot of this book is internal conversations between Melanie and Wanda. So is it gonna be like narration as things are going on where they're talking to themselves? But Saoirse Ronan only has one voice, so how are we gonna keep that straight? Are they gonna cut that out altogether? Because cutting out the internal conversation would basically ruin the movie. That is what the story is about, is Melanie and Wanda coming to know and love each other, even though they have to share a body and they should resent each other. And you can't really cut that out any more than you could cut out the character of, like, Jared in the movie. So, movie makers, please don't ruin this book, because this book is really good, and the casting seems really good. So if you can't do your job, I can promise you that at least one angry fangirl will come after you. Well, it's about that time for this episode, the first episode of Carlee Reviews, to come to an end. I'm not sure what book I'm reading next, so I can't tell you what the next reviews will be, but hopefully there'll be one coming to you soon. So, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.